This is the Tom Bigby Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. I write about a small town in northeast Mississippi on the Tom Bigby River called Columbus, and sometimes I write about the rest of the state. This episode is titled The Cat's Out of the Bag. Did you know that 14 collegiate ultimate frisbee teams are coming to Columbus, Mississippi this weekend? Did you know they will be in Burns Bottom, competing on all the fields there? They start arriving Friday afternoon and play through Sunday. Lowndes County Recreation is hosting the Golden Triangle Invitational Tournament. It is the second year Columbus is hosting over 200 coaches and players. This means 200 plus people spending 2 to 3 nights in our hotels, eating and drinking in our restaurants, buying snacks and groceries in our shops, and gas from our service stations. Did you also know that the organizer of this event with the Lowndes County Recreation Department reached out to Nancy Carpenter 5 times to garner support? 5 times she failed to respond to requests for support, invitations to talk, and invitations to discuss how the CVB could support the tournament or just return a phone call. The lack of professionalism and common decency by Carpenter is stunning and points to her absolute disdain for anything that brings visitors to Columbus that isn't her idea. No wonder our tourism numbers are in the tank, and no wonder only 400 people went through our visitor center, the Tennessee Williams Building, last year. The teams that are coming to the tournament this weekend are coming from the University of Illinois, Purdue, Vanderbilt, Berry College, Auburn, Mississippi State Team A, University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, University of Alabama, Kennesaw State, LSU, Union, Harding, Jacksonville State, and Mississippi State Team B. The economic impact of these visitors is tremendous. Just making extremely conservative estimates on 200 players and not including anybody else they might bring with them, these athletes alone will bring in $10,000 in hotels, $22,500 in restaurants, $5,000 in snacks and water and slices of oranges purchased at our grocery stores, and $2,000 in gas. In other words, a very conservative estimate means this group will bring in almost $50,000 into our community in a very short space of time. And that's a super conservative estimate. So why is CVB Director Nancy Carpenter not rolling out the red carpet for these visitors? Why didn't she, at the very least, return Tom Vellick's emails or calls with the county? Because, in Nancy Carpenter's own words, she doesn't do tourism. The CVB could host a welcome event in conjunction with Munson Brothers. They could have turned the hitching lot into a fun place with a DJ, like someone like Jason McElveen, who's a local DJ artist. She could have put up banners welcoming the athletes and their teams to our town. She could have helped organize information to distribute to the tournament organizers prior to the event that they could send out to the teams for hotels and things to do and see in Columbus and places to spend their money. She could make these young adults feel so welcome they will go home to their various colleges and their hometowns and to their parents and their friends and their future employers and rave about our Southern hospitality. But no, Carpenter can't be bothered. She's too busy hobnobbing in Starkville and Jackson and Oxford and anywhere but Columbus and could really care less about us. And she certainly could care less about are tourism. Tom Vellick has been trying to have these conversations, actually any conversation with Carpenter, even before she was told she would have to retire from the CVB in March. When is the board at the CVB going to just send her to the house? Her dereliction of duties and constant violations of her contract should have sent her packing months ago. Carpenter's gross negligence of doing even the most basic element of her job, answering the damn phone and returning emails to local partners, is just obscene. It is at the very least laziness and at its worst, malfeasance. Nancy Carpenter has told city and county officials she is all in on hosting tournaments in Burns Bottom and other community fields. But when the rubber hits the road, she's done the opposite. But you know, she will be at the next CVB board meeting, crowing over the numbers of attendees and hotel rooms as if she herself had recruited the organizers to come to Columbus, when in reality, she ignored the organizers and their organizations completely. We have 10 tournaments coming to Columbus between now and June 21st, 2 ultimate Frisbee tournaments, including the one this weekend, 6 baseball tournaments, 3 softball tournaments, a 7-on-7 fundraiser at a local gym, and yet Nancy has not bothered to return the calls and emails to the person who's in charge of organizing these with the county in the last 5 months. How can she continue to not do her job and collect a paycheck? Where is the CVB board on all of this? When are they going to hold her accountable? The executive committee needs to have an emergency meeting and fire her now. We need a director who cares about this town and tourism and building relationships with the organizations who bring people to this town to spend their money and their time. We don't need a rude, self-serving, do-nothing like Nancy Carpenter in charge there for a single minute more. Liz Terry, as president of the CVB, I strongly urge you to fire Nancy Carpenter today. I want to thank you for coming to the Tom Bigby Tales. This is Shannon Evans.